Hi again! Here we are together at the third session of Introduction to Network. For today, we will be focused at the last two topics as network trends and network security. We know a lot about networks today, what they are made of, how they connect us, and what is needed to keep them reliable. But networks, as everything else, keep changing day by day. As new technologies and end-user devices come to market, business and consumers must continue to adjust to their ever-changing environment. And there are several network trends that affect organizations and consumers, as bring your own devices, online collaboration, video communication, and cloud computing. And we will discuss for each of them in the next slides. The concept of any device for any content in any manner is a major global trend that requires significant change to the way we use devices and safely connect them to network. And this is called bring your own devices. Bring your own device enables end users the freedom to use personal tools to access information and communicate across a business or campus network. With the growth of consumer devices and the related drop in cost, employees and students may have advanced computing and networking devices for personal use. These include laptops, notebooks, tablets, smartphones, and e-readers. They may be purchased by the company or school, by the individuals, or both. Bring your own devices means any devices with any ownership used everywhere. Individuals want to connect to the network not only for access to data application, but also to collaborate with one another. Collaboration is defined as the act of working with another or other on a joint project. Collaboration is a critical and strategic priority that organizations are using to remain competitive. Collaboration is also a priority in education, since students need to collaborate to assist each other in learning, to develop the team skills used in the workforce, and to work together on team-based projects. Cisco WebEx Teams is a multifunctional collaboration tool that lets you send instant messages to one or more people, post images, and post videos and links. Each team in space maintains a history or anything that is posted there. Another phase of networking that is critical to communication and collaboration effort is video. Video is used for communication, collaboration, and entertainment. Video calls are made to and from anyone with an internet connection, regardless of where they are located. Video conferencing is a powerful tool for communicating with others, both locally and globally. Video is becoming a critical requirement for effective collaboration as organizations extend across geographic and cultural boundaries. Cloud computing is one of the ways that we access and store data. Cloud computing allows us to store personal files, even backup an entire drive on server over the internet. Applications such as word processing and photo editing can be accessed using the cloud. For business, cloud computing extends the capabilities of IT without requiring investment in new infrastructure, training new personnel, or licensing new software. These services are available on demand and delivered economically to any devices that is anywhere in the world without compromising security on function. Cloud computing is possible because of data centers. The data centers are facilities used to house computer systems and associated components. A data center can occupy one room of a building, one or more floors, or an entire warehouse-sized building. Data centers are typically very expensive to build and maintain. For this reason, only large organizations use privately built data centers to house their data and provide services to users. Smaller organizations that cannot afford to maintain their own private data center can reduce the overall cost of ownership by leasing servers and storage services for a large data center organization in the cloud. For security, reliability, and fault tolerance, cloud providers often store data in distributed data center. Instead of storing all of the data of a person or an organization in one data center, it is stored in multiple data centers in different locations. There are four primary types of clouds. We have public cloud, where cloud applications and services offered in a public cloud and are made available to the general population. Services may be free or are offered on a pay-per-use model, such as paying for online storage. The public cloud uses the internet to provide services. We have even a private cloud, where cloud-based applications and services offered in a private cloud are intended for a specific organization or entity, such as government. A private cloud can be set up using the organization's private network, though this can be expensive to build and maintain. A private cloud can also be managed by an outside organization with strict access security. We have even hybrid clouds, where a hybrid cloud is made up of two or more clouds, which every part remains a distinct object, but both are connected using a single architecture. Individuals on hybrid cloud would be able to have degrees of access to various services based on user access rights. And lastly, we have the community cloud. A community cloud is created for exclusive use by specific entities or organizations. The differences between public clouds and community clouds are the functional needs that have been customized for the community. For example, healthcare organizations must remain compliant with policies and laws that require special authentication and confidentiality. Community clouds are used by multiple organizations that have similar needs and concerns. Community clouds are similar to a public cloud environment, but with set levels of security, privacy, and even regulatory compliance of a private cloud. Networking trends are not only affecting the way we communicate at work and at school, but also changing many aspects of the home. The newest home trends include smart home technology. A smart home technology integrates into everyday appliance, which then can connect with other devices to make the appliance more smart or automated. For example, you could prepare food and place it in the oven for cooking prior to leaving the house for the day. You program your smart oven for the food you want it to cook. It would also be connected to your calendar of events so that it could determine what time you should be available to eat and adjust start time and length of cooking accordingly. It could even adjust cooking times and temperature based on changes in schedule. Additionally, A smartphone or tablet connection lets you connect to the oven directly to make any desired adjustment. When the food is ready, the oven sends an alert message to you or someone you specify that the food is done and warming. Smart home technology is currently being developed for all rooms within a house. Smart home technology will become more common as home networking and high-speed internet technology expand. As you can see in the picture in the background, the smartphone is updated from the cloud with the status of the smart home devices and the smart car. The users can then use the smartphone to interact with the smart home and smart car, so he can turn on the car without leaving the house using his phone. Powerline networking for home networks use existing electrical wiring to connect devices as it is shown in the figure. Using a standard Powerline adapter, devices can connect to the LAN wherever there is an electrical outlet. No data cables need to be installed, and there is a little no additional electricity used. Using the same wiring that delivers electricity, Powerline networking sends information by sending data on a certain frequencies. Powerline networking is especially useful when wireless access points cannot reach all the devices in the home. Powerline networking is not a substitute for dedicated cabling in data networks. However, it is an alternative when data networks cable or wireless communication are not possible or effective. In many areas where cable and DSL are not available, wireless may be used to connect to the internet. And based on that, we have wireless internet service provider and wireless broadband service. A wireless internet service provider is an internet service provider that connects subscribers to a designated access point or hotspot using similar wireless technology found in home wireless local area network. A wireless internet service provider are more commonly found in rural environments where DSL or cable services are not available. Although a separate transmission tower may be installed for the antenna, typically the antenna is attached to an existing elevated structure, such as water tower or radio tower. A smaller dish or antenna is installed on the subscriber roof in range of the wireless internet service provider transmitter. The subscriber access point is connected to the wired network inside the home. For the perspective of the home user, the setup is not much different than DSL or cable services. But the main difference is that the connection from the home to the internet service provider is wireless instead of physical cable. And the wireless broadband service is the solution that uses the same cellular technology as a smartphone. An antenna is installed outside the house, providing either wireless or wired connectivity for the devices in the home. In many areas, home wireless broadband is competing directly with DSL and cable services. You may have heard or read news stories about your company network being breached, giving threat actors access to the personal information of thousands of customers. For this reason, network security is always going to be a top priority of administrators. Network security is an integral part of computer networking. regardless of whether the network is in a home with a single connection to the internet or is a corporation with thousands of users. Network security must consider the environment as well as the tools and requirements of the network. It must be able to secure data while still allowing for the quality of service that users expect of the network. Securing a network involves protocols, technologies, devices, tools, and techniques in order to protect data and mitigate threats. Threats vector may be external or internal. Many external network security threats today originate from the internet. There are several common external threats to network, such as viruses, worms, and Trojan horses, and these contain malicious software or code running on a user devices. Spyware and adware, this type of software are installed on a user device. The software then secretly collects information about the user. A zero-day attacks, also known as zero-hour attacks, occurs on the first day that a vulnerability becomes known. A threat actor attacks is a malicious person who attacks user devices or network resources. Denial of service attacks. With these attacks, they can slow or crash applications and processes on network device. Data interception and theft. With this attack, capture private information from an organization's network. Identity theft. With this attack, you can steal and log in credentials of a user in order to access private data. It is equally important to consider even internet threats. There have been many studies that show that the most common data breaches happen because of internet uses of the network. This can be attributed to lost or stolen devices, accidental misuse by employees, and in the business environment, even malicious employees. With the involving bring your own devices tragedies, corporate data is much more vulnerable. Therefore, when developing a security policy, it is important to address both external and internal security threats. And no single solution can protect the network from the variety of threats that exist. For this reason, security should be implemented in multiple layers using more than one security solution. If one security components fail to identify and protect the network, others may succeed. And based on that, we have security for home and small office network and for network at the business and corporate. A home network security implementation is usually rather basic. Typically, you implement it at the end devices as well as at the point of connection to the internet, and can even rely on contracted services from the internet service provider. These are the basic security components for a home or small office network, as antiviruses and anti-spyware. With this application, you help to protect end devices from becoming infected with malicious software. We have even firewall filtering, where you can block unauthorized access into and out of the network. This may include a host-based firewall system that prevents unauthorized access to the end devices, or basic filtering services on the home router to prevent unauthorized access from the outside world into the network. In contrast, the network security implemented for a corporate network usually consists on many components built into the network to monitor and filter traffic. Ideally, all components work together, which minimize, maintains, and improves security. Larger network and corporate networks use same as SOHO, antiviruses, antispyware, and firewall filtering, but they also have other security requirements as dedicated firewall system. With this, you can provide advanced firewall capabilities that can filter large amount of traffic with more granularity. Access control list, where you can further filter access and traffic forwarding based on the IP address and application. May use even intrusion prevention system, where with this you can identify fast-spreading threats such as zero-day or zero-hours attack. And lastly, virtual private network. With this, you can provide secure access into an organization for remote workers. Network security requirements must consider the environment as well as the various application and computing requirements. Both home and business environments must be able to secure their data while still allowing for the quality of service that users expect of each technology. The security solution implemented must be adaptable to the growing and changing trends of the network. The study of network security threats and mitigation techniques start with a clear understanding of the underlying switching and routing infrastructure used to organize network services. Thank you for being with me at the third part of Introduction to the Network. Please do not forget to subscribe at my channel, and we will see together with the other topics as protocol and models that we will come the next Monday. See you soon.